What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. If you are not aware, there's a new trend when it comes to modern dating where women are refusing to text men. They're refusing to do any sort of get to know you information sharing. And what they will do instead is they will just option to go out on a date right away. They want to meet these men the night of, maybe even the next night, the night after. They want these men to take them out right away so they can see what it's all about. They want to get in there and they want to start dating right away. So this is something that's been happening, and I've seen a couple of videos about this. But we have a dating story that is going to involve this, and I'm going to stop talking. We're going to go ahead and get into it. And hey, how's it going? My name's Rat Boy.
My friend had a horrible first date yesterday, and I asked if I could tell her story on here because it was so bad. My heart goes out to all you single women out there because she said is like regular. This is like regular for men to act like this. And I've been out of the game for 10 years. I've been with the same guy for 10 years, so I had no idea. Okay, so for the sake of the story, I'm going to call my friend Liz and her date Jason. Okay, Jason is 34, she's 32. They met on Hinge. Now, she didn't really talk to him too much before the date because she likes to get to know people like via the date instead of like texting, but she did know he was a carpenter. He said he didn't drink. He also said he lived with roommates, and that he asked a million times, like texted her a million times if she partaked in Mary Jane, okay? And she thought that was weird because it was like every time they talked, he asked if she did that. Anyways, okay, so first she was like, okay, so they live kind of far away, and he was like, oh, I'll plan the date. And she's like, okay, cool, but just so you know, you're like an hour away from me, and I don't drink beer. And he's like, got it. Day of the date, sends her the location. It's in his town, so she has to drive all the way to him. Okay, and then when she's looking closely, like when she's on the way, she notices that it's just a beer garden, or just like a bar. And he said he didn't drink, she doesn't drink beer, and she assumed there was going to be food because he made it seem like it was like a dinner situation. But she's like, oh, maybe we're going there first. She didn't really know. So she meets up with him, okay, and she was like, oh, I thought you don't drink. And he goes, oh yeah, I don't drink, but I love non-alcoholic beer. Okay, do you not drink because, like, you don't like to drink, or because you have a problem with drinking? That's immediately what came to my mind. Anyways, they continue on the date, and he is just talking about himself. That's all he can talk about. He's showing her pictures of, like, his trip and his friends. Like, he cannot stop talking about himself.
Women.
And we all know why he can't stop talking about himself. This is not an average guy that is going to be on these dating apps. This is going to be probably one of the biggest chads you can meet. And look, Hinge has got all the chads. They are on there. They are meeting all these random women. Now, it's not this woman, obviously. She wouldn't be able to pull a chad, but who knows what her friends look like? Who knows what her friend is working with? I'm going to assume that her friend is relatively attractive, or even just moderately attractive, or even just average, or below average. Below average is what we're talking about here. That's all you have to be. To pull a chad, to pull a 10 out of 10 dude to come lay pipe on a random weekday, you just got to be average looking. This is what it's come down to. So maybe what, a 3 or a 4 her friend might be that's having these interactions with these dudes on these dating apps. These guys that are telling these women that they're carpenters, which who knows what he's doing. You haven't even talked to this guy. He went out of his way to say that he doesn't drink. Well, you didn't think to ask this dude about what restaurant he was taking you to? You were so caught up in getting the free food that you didn't think about, well, maybe I should find out what restaurant we're going to, so it's not some weird situation where there's no food there because he needs to pay for food. Is that something you just assumed there would be food there and he would be paying for it? That's very low IQ of you to do. Who knows how many days went by that they weren't texting, and she could have just sent and said, hey, look, I know we got that date, but where are you taking me? I'm driving an hour to your hometown. Where are we going? These chads, they just say date here and send an address, and then these women show up and drive an hour out of their way.
Doesn't really ask her any questions, whatever. She already knows that there's not going to be a second date just by the way he's acting, but she's just moving on from that. But she's still, like, giving it a go. Like, she's still trying to, like, find the positives in this date, you know? And then she asks him, like, oh, are we going to another place? Because, like, I thought we were eating. And he goes, oh, I ate before the date. And she goes, oh, I thought we were doing dinner. And he goes, no, I already ate. So she's like, oh, okay. And like, that's weird. If your date's hungry, go find food for her, you know, like, go to another location. Like, he does not want to leave this bar. And people are coming up to him. Like, he frequents this bar. And he's downing, he's about on his third non-alcoholic beer at this point. She had one cider, okay? Now the night is kind of like wrapping up, and he is starting to be very forward. He's like, you're so sexy, you're so hot. And she was like, I was getting uncomfortable because he had not asked one single thing about me, and he did not compliment me at all, except that I was so sexy and so hot. So then the check comes, and the waitress puts it in front of him, and he takes out his card and puts the card down and like pushes it like towards like the middle of the table, but towards the side where the waitress could pick it up. And she goes, oh, thank you. Like, this was nice. And he goes, yeah, I had a great time. Like this was so much fun. Like, you're so sexy. Again, he's harping on that. And then the waitress comes by to take it, and he goes, oh, wait. And she goes, yeah. And he's like, oh, we're just waiting for her card. And she looks at him, and he's like, don't you want to put your card down? We're splitting it, right? And here's the thing. My friend would have easily split it, but he made it seem like he took out his card, put his card down, and like moved it towards her. Like, he made it seem like he was paying, right? You should have said like, oh, we should split it. So then in front of the waitress, my friend has to go like, oh yeah, absolutely. Also, she got one cider. He got 3 non-alcoholic beers. So now they're splitting a 50-50. Because that's what he told the waitress to do. And she's like, what am I doing? I drove an hour here, listened to this man drone on and on about himself, and now I'm paying for his alcoholic or non-alcoholic beers? Like, what? But she's just like, whatever, I'm never going to see this guy again. So then they're leaving, right? And he goes, and he's walking her to her car. And he
Oh man, this date is amazing. I love this guy. This guy's awesome. So this is, I would say, my advice to this lady that had this date would be that whenever you feel like that the date isn't going to be what you want it to be, you need to just go ahead and get out of there. Because now she's paying for the guy's beer. This guy is, and she drove an hour to get there. Do you think women are doing this for just average dudes? There's no way. Absolutely no way. These women are not buying beers for these average dudes. But this guy, this dating story is awesome. I love this dating story. Let's continue.
He like tries to hold her hand at one point, and she was just like, no, dude. And so then they get to her car, and he's like, oh, nice car. What kind of car is it? And she's like, it's a RAV4. And he goes, oh, that's my car over there. And she's like, which one? And he goes, oh, the truck. There's only one truck over there, and the whole side of the truck is smashed in, right? And she goes, oh, it looks like it's been an accident. He goes, yeah, there's a reason I don't drink anymore. So yeah, you don't drink. He made it seem like he doesn't drink because he doesn't like the taste of it. He doesn't drink because he shouldn't drink. He is a menace to society when he drinks. And then he goes in for the kiss. She swerves. He's like, oh, you gotta do me like that? Like, what part of the date did it seem like she wanted to kiss you, right? And then he goes, you know, if you want to keep this party rolling, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, acid. I have acid in my car. It is 8 o'clock at night. This man wants to do acid with her. And she goes, oh, I'm okay. And he goes, well, let me just smoke you out then. And then she was like, I really don't feel like, you know, hanging out at your place. And he goes, oh, we can't go to my place. Like, my parents are there. And she goes, I thought you said you have roommates. And he goes, yeah, roommates, parents, whatever. And then she's like, I have to go. Like, I have work tomorrow. And he's, that's the best part about being unemployed. You don't have to wake up. And she goes, I thought you were a carpenter. He's like, well, I'm a carpenter. I don't have a job. And I'm just like, oh my God. And then he texted her the next day, you want to hang out again? Like, I am so sorry, ladies. This is what you have to go through. This is a 34-year-old man-child. She deleted his number. She knows better. But that's like crazy. And he was cute. He was very attractive. Just very fucking dumb.
Oh shit.
This is all too common with online dating. That story was actually I really liked that dating story. That was actually one of the better dating stories I've heard. Let's recap. This guy, he didn't even have to leave his hometown for this date. He shows up, he gets free drinks. It sounds like a good date to him. I'm not sure what these women are trying to do. My advice is that if you find yourself having to drive an hour to see these men, you can drive an hour to see these random men. I've seen a lot of videos where these women, they drive out of town an hour, sometimes more than an hour to see these random men they're meeting online. You can definitely do that if you want to. I would say no. I wouldn't want to do that, but some of these women do it. They meet these attractive men online that have them driving across state lines just so they can buy them a few beers. But it's going to be the end of today's video. Comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later. Rat Boy out.